Hi everybody, it's Sam at Mixed Up Craft. Thanks for watching my tutorial today. This is number 3 of my Christmas Workshop 2017 and this is my Christmas countdown calendar. So the idea of this one has come from basically when I was thinking up this workshop and projects to do. I was thinking about what reminds me of my Christmas when I was at home with my mum and dad, and one of the one thing that come to my mind straight away was this calendar, this countdown calendar. It's the first thing that comes out in our household on the 1st of December. Mum gets her, she won't mind me telling you all this, her Crazy Mountain one that she brought when we, from our family that live in Canada when we visit. Over time she has collected an awful amount of Crazy Mountain, and she has a beautiful Christmas countdown, and it's pretty much the same as this. The squares are smaller, and then it's got beautiful little Crazy Mountain little ornaments and stuff around it. If I can get a picture or something, I'll see if she can send me one, and I'll show it to you on Facebook or something. But the idea came from that, and I thought that'd be really nice. Me and my husband don't have one, and it's nice and light, it's easy for us to pack and travel with, and so on and so forth, and I thought it'd be a really fun thing to make. So it is straightforward. It's not as hard as it looks, so don't be put off by this at all. I have used some of my gold metal card from Do Crafts. I'll share all the links in my blog. You can see it nicely there. I've put a couple of brads there. I've used some of my Stampin' Up stamps. These are Do Crafts stamps here, and stuck with my traditional red, gold, white and green, which is all I have at Christmas. They're the colours I like, and that's what feels most Christmassy and reminds me of Christmases as a child. So I've rabbled on enough, let's crack on and make it. Okay, so you are going to need lots and lots of bits here. Don't be scared by what I've just put in front. It's just I've got lots of stages that I've been working through. So I've got one of the squares already done and all of these prepared, so I will count those down, give you those measurements. That's what I'm going to show in a minute. Okay, so first of all you're going to need 2 pieces of card for your boxes. So that's the one obviously I've already done. So these measure 8 1/4 by 11 5/8, 11 1/2, whatever the A4 card is. Now I know usually I try and use the 11 by 8 1/4 so that everybody can use their letter paper or A4 paper depending on where you are in the world, but I really needed the full length of my A4 paper. So for those of you that have 11 by 8 1/2, all you need to do is you can see here when I go through the scoring with you, so this is the same piece here. So this was cut from 11 inch card, and all you need to do is cut a 1 inch, was it 1 inch? Yeah, a 1 inch by 2, sorry, what was this one? Yeah, so 1 by 2 3/4, score at 1/2 inch and just stick it onto the end there to create yourself a tab. So if you don't have 12 by 12 papers and all you've got is your 11 by 8 1/2, this is a way for you to still be able to do this project. You just need to add the tab, okay? But when we get to that bit, I'll explain it again if you're a bit unsure. So 2 pieces of 8 1/4 by 11 5/8. Then you are going to need, for your base of the kind of like little stand that it goes in, this is 7 1/4 by 8. So 1 piece, and then you need for the back of the kind of stand, you need a piece of 11 by 6 5/8 of an inch, just 1 piece of that. For my little sentiment that goes along the bottom, I've just pulled out the colours and stuff that I've used, and this comes in at 5/8 of an inch by 5 5/8 of an inch. And then I've just, depending on what your stamp size is, I've just cut that out and obviously stuck that down and given myself a little border. So it does depend on what you use. I can't really give you a measurement for that because you might have bigger letters and stuff than me. So I've used the Labeler alphabet by Stampin' Up. This is still current, this carried over, and it's brilliant because they are nice and small. So they've got a slight just like distressed look about them, you know, like a typewriter. So where the typewriter kind of does those little mistakes, but it's brilliant. She's got 2 different kinds as well, so it's 101 stamps in that one. And then for the actual numbers, I've used my Do Crafts Paper Mania Carnival numbers, which I've used a few times, and I've got the dies for these as well, and they're brilliant. So they're the 2 that I've used for that. So I've gone through that and that. So you need to stamp in numbers for your boxes. You'll need to stamp 2 number 0, 2 number 1s, 2 number 2s, then 1 3, 1 4, 1 5, 1 6, 1 7 and 1 8, and the 6 can be used as the 9, so, or the 9 as the 6. You can't have both, so you need to make sure that these, my ones, look the same either way, but I know some stamps they look like a 9 and it will look like a 6, so you need to make sure you've got one that looks like both when it's turned upside down. Okay, for the boxes, so you've got a total of 6 sides across the 2 boxes, so you need 12 of these. So you need 12 pieces that measure 2 and 3. Is it 2? No, it's 2 and depends what your stitch framelit is. My stitch framelit is coming in between 2 1/4 and 2 3/8. So whatever sizes you've got that is near to that is fine. So you need 12 of those, and then the white card is I measured that separately. That's 2 1/4 square, and you need again 12 of them, and then stamp them with those amounts of numbers that I told you to stamp. Right, I think I've gone through everything that you need there. So first of all, I'm going to make one of the boxes because I've already done one. So I'll pop all that to one side. Move all that as well. Okay, so you've got your piece of 8 1/4 by 11 5/8, and or if you've got the 11, that's fine. I will talk you through that. So what you want to do first of all is along the 11 1/4, you want to score at, make sure I've got this the right way up because I think I've done it that way. Yes, I did. Right, first of all, you want to score, ignore this line, I'm going to tell you when to do that in a minute. You want to score at 2 3/4, and then you want to score at 5 1/2. Okay, then rotate onto your, so some of you have 11 and some of you have 11 5/8. If you've got 11 5/8, then, and 11 actually it's the same scoring, so you want to score again at 2 3/4, then again at 5 1/2, then at 8 1/4. Now those of you that have got 11, that will be it. The 11 will be your square. So this is when you then need to make that 2 3/4 of an inch by 1 inch tab and score it at 1/2 inch. For everybody who's got the A4 paper, you want to score at 11, and that will give you that nice tab that we will use to close the box all together. Then rotate it back onto the 8 1/4 inch side, but you want to make sure that that tab is now facing the bottom, okay? And then you're going to score at 2 1/4, and you want to go down past the first box score line, down past the second box and the score line, and you want to go down to that third score line, okay? And then you want to score again at 6, all the way down again to that third score line. So for people using 11 5/8 of an inch card, it will be your third score line. And if you're using 11, it will be the last score line, because you will then be at the end of your card. And then you will add your tab in. Okay, so I hope I've made that clear. I've still got my rocking scoreboard here. I think I might just take the other feet off actually, because it's a bit irritating. Okay, so that's all of the scoring done. So let me just grab my template so I can remember what I need to cut. So grab some scissors and get rid of that for the minute. Okay, so you just want to burnish all of your score lines. Carefully do that. I've got a little bit of cracking on that one there. I have to put a little bit of glue. If you do ever get that, just put a little bit of glue, clear glue on it, and it just stops it. It's fine. Okay, so follow this down. Okay, so with your tab facing away from you, you will have this score line that you scored just down to that third score line. You want to cut all the way down that line. So you're going to cut all of this out, and these are all your tabs to be able to close the box. So you can be quite quick with that. You don't have to be uber careful because you won't see that, but this piece here you want to be nice and straight, because you will, and go all the way down to that one. So you can see there I've just created that tab. Okay, hope you can see here because I've got my, oh yeah, it's fine. Okay, so you want to repeat that again on the other side. So again, you want to go down that score line that goes down to that third score line, like so, and again just cut that out nice and neatly. Okay, we're going to notch all of these off in a minute, and then I just want to do that top one. Okay, so then turn it around. You should have an upside down T shape, and you just want to cut down those score lines like so, and then cut both of these out really neatly, because you'll see all of this. Just cut that all out completely, and again like so. Okay, so now we can go down, just cut down all these little bits here, and my rings always keep twisting round, and then again that one and that one, and then just slightly just take off little bits from the corners, just like I usually do in my videos, just little notches, just so it makes that box close up much nicer when we put it all together. Okay, so that's what you should have. I do it that way, so just make sure it's all in. So you've got a tab, 3 squares that are all the same, and then all this one down here, they'll all have little tabs, and you should have just little notches. We do the very end one there, just so that they're all going to fold together nicely. Okay, so what we need to do now is stick on our numbers, because it's easier to do when it's nice and flat. It doesn't really matter which way up you do them, because every time you change your date you will move them around anyway. So you know, if you want to face it that way and do them all facing you, you can. It really doesn't matter. So, and it doesn't matter what order you do them in either. But for that, the video, I'm going to do them in number order. So, although saying that, I've got the 0 there and I've started with the 1, but never mind. Like I said, it doesn't matter. Okay, and then you just want to pop that down in the centre, and you should have a nice 1/4 inch border around each one, and spend some time, make sure you really get that nicely lined up, because like I said, this is something I plan to keep for some time. I don't want it to just be something that I then use once and get rid of. Okay, so you just want to repeat that with all of your squares and get them all stuck down. Okay, so that's that one all stuck down. One thing I forgot to mention as well is what numbers need to go on what box. So on one box you need what I've got here, so 0, 1, 2, 7, 8, and then the 6 is also the 9, so that obviously will be that way as well when we turn the boxes around. And also then on the other one you need 1, 2, sorry, start from the beginning, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it. And that's your 6 numbers. Okay, so I'll put all this in my blog as well, so don't worry if you you don't need to remember it right now. So now we can put it all together. So you just need to apply tape to every single one of these tabs. Okay, so that's all my tape on there. So I'm just going to take off, first of all, I'm going to do it bit by bit. I made that other box a good few weeks ago now, so I'm trying to remember what stage I've done it in, but I think I've done it this way. Okay, so first of all I'm taking off the tape from these 2 sides here, and just work on one side first, and don't rush it, just really make sure that you get it really nice and flush. So obviously you're going to see all this. So again, just working along each one, making sure you get a really nice join, and then I'll work down to the next piece. I get my nails. So again, just lift those two pieces up. This is so sticky, this tape, so I've got my finger under the other side so it doesn't stick. Like so. And then, yeah, so you want to take the tape off of this one. And your two sides. Okay, and then keeping that one down, if you want to use your pokey tool just to kind of push it in, and then slowly you want to get all of those sides down inside. Like so. A little bit fiddly there, like I said, take your time. If you don't want to use this tape, you can use wet glue because it's a bit more forgiving and you can move it around and things like that. But there you go, I'm pleased with that. And like I said, if you've got any funny corners or there's a little bit of cracking like there, I've got a tiny bit of cracking. I don't know whether sometimes it's the grain of the card, the way it's made. If you go against it, it can form cracking even on good card, because this is good card. So I'm going to just pop, if you rub it as well, you see it's gone shiny again now, it's almost stopped it. In fact, it's kind of disappeared. If you do that, or just, like I said, get a little piece of PVA glue on your finger and just rub it over, because it will dry clear. And if it does have a little gleam, you know, gloss on the corners, that's fine. So you can always do that to protect things, to make them last longer anyway. So there you go, there's the two boxes. So that's that bit done. So now we're going to go on to our actual little case that it all sits in. So this is the one that I'm actually going to be using, but what I'd done, because I was still a bit nervous and I wanted to just check again that I got the measurements all right, so I have done it on, I'm going to show you the scoring and everything on this scrap card and then move over to what I've already prepared. So you need, grab your scoreboard. Okay, so you've got, this is going to be the back piece here. So this is the 11 by 6 5/8. So scoring along the 6 5/8 side, you just want to score at 2 7/8 of an inch. And then along the 11-inch side, you want to score at 2 5/8 of an inch and 8 3/8 of an inch. Okay. While I've got the scoreboard out, do the bottom bit as well, and then we'll go back to that bit in a minute because you need to do a pencil score. So this one here is your 7 1/4 by 8. So along the 7 1/4 inch side, you want to score at 3/4 of an inch and 6 1/2. And then along the 8-inch side, you want to score again at 3/4 of an inch, then 3 5/8 of an inch, 4 3/8 of an inch, and 7 1/4 of an inch. Okay, get rid of your scoreboard. Gosh, I've got a load of hanging hearts behind me and I always knock them with my scoreboard. Okay, so grab a ruler and a pencil, and all you want to do is, you've got, so along your 11-inch side you will have square, rectangle, and two rectangles and a longer one there. Basically you just want to join up like I have in this picture from the corner bottom. So on this case, this one here, it's the bottom right hand side up to the top left there. You just want to join them up, make sure it's corner to corner, because you're going to cut along this line really neatly, because this is what you're going to see. So obviously it's the side bits of that case. Okay, so just do those pencil marks there. Then you just need to burnish all of your sides. So this is just photo cards. This is my crappy card that I use to do all my prototypes on. So just burnish it, and then you want to cut up like so. I'm doing this quickly because I've got my ones that I've done properly, but you just want to make sure you spend some time, do that really neatly from corner to corner. So you have something like that. And then you want to cut up, and make sure you cut, so cutting that score line, gosh, cutting the score line away. So I'm cutting to the right hand side of the score line, so I'm getting rid of it completely, because this piece is going to be stuck underneath, so you don't want anything hanging out. And this one here, you just want to cut down and cut it out. Do the same on this one. So in this case I'm cutting to the left hand side, so I'm removing that score line, and again making myself laugh now. Okay, yeah, so that's what you should have. And then you want to apply sticky tape all the way to the bottom here, so it looks like that. So this is now the one that I'm going to use, so I'll throw that away, that'll go in my scrap. Okay, so now onto that bottom bit that we scored. So again, you just want to burnish all of your score lines, like so. Okay, and then you want to, so it doesn't matter which side you start because they're both the same. So start at this one here, and you just, first of all, you just want to cut out these two end pieces like so, and then you just want to cut down all of these just to the the first score line that you've created, like so. And then, as always, just notch those off slightly. Again, be much slower than I am, because all of this is going to be on show. So these side pieces here, you can see there I've got the score line. If you do want to just go down really neatly there, so it's nice and straight, and get rid of that score line, because you're going to see this on the side of the box, obviously. So on that side, just want to take all those little notches out, and again on these two here, and just make sure that these pieces here that you're going to see, the longer panels here, are just nice and straight on the sides. Okay, and then what you should have is, this is my one that I'm going to use, so like so. Okay, so you can see there, nice and straight, and then just little tabs here that I've notched out. So this is my front, this is when it all folds together. So what you want to do is the tab where you've cut out those squares either side of it, you want to put tape all the way along, and then you want to put tape along, hugging the score line. You don't need to put it all over it, as long as it hugs that score line. Okay, that's on that side. Then on the reverse, so again with that one at the top where you've cut those two out, you want to put it on the other side as well. And then on the outsides of the bottom panel, again this time you want to hug the outside. Doesn't matter if you put glue all over it, so it's just the way I've done it. I'm saving on my tape as well. Okay, so now we will put together the box, so making sure I am taking off the right pieces. Okay, first, so you want to remove the tape from inside, so the side where you've put your tape on the bottom piece here, and then you're going to bring it right the way across, line up this piece here with the bottom score line, holding it up like that. I always say lie it down. If you lie it down flat and then just fold it over like so. There we go. Don't worry if it lifts up a bit, because it's a lot of card going over each other. Okay, if you bring that back out, there you go, you'll have your box. So now you want to put in your little panels first, then push in the one where you've got the tape hugging the score line. It doesn't really matter again if you've got it all over, but that's the one you want to put in first. And then, yeah, don't stick the other one yet, sorry, I'm going ahead of myself. This is when I don't want it to get too messy. Hopefully it won't. Okay, remove the tape from the back as well. If you're using wet glue, this would be much easier, because I'm probably making it actually harder than it really is, and it's not. Sometimes I think I can explain things too much. Okay, so yeah. So I've taken the tape off the back there. I've taken the tape, let's stick that one in there as well. So you should have those two down with the tape removed, like so. Remove all of the bottom of this. Again, if you're using wet glue, that's fine. First of all, we're going to stick, so you've got your sticky bit here on the back. You're going to line this bottom of it up with this score line here. So just hover it over, spend some time, because once you commit with this red tape, that's it. And again, just make sure, and you'll see there it completely hides underneath. Okay, so just, if you want to just get a ruler, just to make sure it's all nice and flat. Okay, and then bring it up, do one side first. Or no, bring it up so it sticks to that back piece, like so. Again, just lie it on its side. Like so. Again, just make sure those little tabs are in either side. Okay, so you've got it looking like that. And just bring round one triangle and really hug it around that corner, nice and tight, and make sure it stays nice and flat with the bottom there. Okay, so you get a really nice corner. You want a nice right angle, flush right angle. And then you can take that tape off of that one. So it's a bit like a puzzle, it was bit by bit, which is why I was trying not to confuse you. And then bring that up all nice and neatly, because like I said, it's all going to be shown, like so. So again, with this one, so now take the bottom of this one off. So really hug that around that corner, keeping it nice and flat with the bottom. And then you just want to bring up that bottom piece, again, sticking it all down. And there you have it. So it does work, it's just lots of different stages, because when I was first making this was on the outside and I didn't like the way it was finished. You had stuff exposed on the back like a piece here, and I thought there's got to be a way to make it look a lot more pleasing to the eye, so I think that does. So that's that piece finished, and then all you need to do is grab your little sentiment. Where did I put that? Aha. Okay, and then I'm just going to pop some double-sided tape onto the back of this. Okay, so just lie this down and you should have a nice tiny little kind of border. I just want to make sure I can see it's meeting all of the ends. Yep. I've just put a couple of little brads on the end there as well, just to give it a little something. So now, so it will be, let's just say, I don't know, 20 days. There. Isn't that lovely? It's hard to hold up because it's going to fall down, but if I hold it all in place there, you can see on all the sides. And I think that looks really, really nice. I'm super pleased with that. And then just turn them all around any way that you need. You can swap them over that side for whatever dates. You could start it, well, I mean, there's not 85 days, so I don't know how many days are there at the moment. Probably isn't far from that. But yeah, just change them around however you want. Hope you enjoyed this project. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my ideas and the rest of my Christmas workshop, and hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.